Let's move now to this interview where Wayne Snyman is a South African race walker who has competed in the 2016 Rio Olympics in Brazil and 2020 Tokyo Olympics in Japan. The 38-year-old will be looking to qualify for this year's Olympics in Paris in France, and he is joining us via Zoom all the way from KwaZulu-Natal. Wayne, a very good evening to you and welcome to Sports Live. You know, I'm just trying to figure out in my head, when we all have 24 hours in a day, how you're able to be a full-time science teacher, find time to train, juggle your demanding full-time job, and of course, race walking. Where do you find this time?
It's very hard, I'm not going to lie to you. Waking up early in the morning, sometimes when the sun is not shining, so a lot of the times of my training is in the dark. So before school, and then I need to balance my life as well because I have a family and a 5-year-old son. So it's quite challenging, but if you want to do something, you'll find time.
And of course, the question on many people's minds, why did you choose to be a race walker?
Good question. I think you get a calling for a specific sport when you find natural talent. As soon as I started with walking, I could feel that I have a natural rhythm for the sport. In walking, we say you have a natural style, and I was lucky enough to have that natural style, which is good, which actually helps quite a lot when you're training. You don't need to think a lot when you're actually doing specific stuff. So I think many years ago I actually got myself into a routine of training, and I feel with the good guidance, I think my style just improved, and I think that's how I got hooked into the sport. It's a small community, and I think it's nice to have that community around you, and I think it's nice to be able to be in a sport like this, which has the support of many people around me.
And of course, you speak about the small community, and race walking in South Africa isn't quite that popular. So for the layman who is going to be watching this interview, asking themselves, what does race walking actually entail? What are the rules behind the sport?
I think a lot of people just see the sport and they go, it's the old granny walk, which is really not true. I think we are one of the sports that gets disqualified for trying too hard, which is very cruel actually. But I think the two main rules to set down is you should always have contact with the ground. To say you have always one foot on the ground before your feet. Your back foot lifts in the air, your front foot needs to strike the air. That's why you see we're always trying to lift our toe. Specifically with that picture right there, you can see our toes is lifting. So right before our back foot lifts up, our front foot needs to have contact with the ground, and that's what we call contact or in the air. And the next rule is as soon as that front leg makes contact with the ground, your knee needs to be straightened. We can either say bending of knees or we call it knees in international terms. So that's the two main rules. I think we always...
Wayne, are you still with us? Are you able to hear us? All right, as we are trying to reestablish connection, we are having some technical gremlins, and of course with Wayne, he's also just going to make sure that his connectivity is okay so that we can continue with this very important discussions, because a lot of the times we speak about popular sporting codes in this country, whether you're looking at the likes of football, rugby, cricket, and the likes. But when it comes to race walking, a lot of people really are not familiar with the sport, and the fact that it is an Olympic sport, that you can get disqualified for it, you know, which is what Wayne was trying to detail there for us. A lot of people have said that race walking can be likened to the likes of power walks, you know, and even though it isn't a popular sport right here in the country or maybe even the continent, we know that there are different countries that really have taken up race walking. It's also so important to realize just what an outstanding achievement he has done here.